We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins. Very exciting times here in the market. There are big things moving, big things coming for Bitcoin that we're going to look at with videos from Cynthia Loomis and Michael Saylor. But also we are going to talk about Sui and what is coming with regards to potential Pokemon NFTs. Is it true or not? And also something else that you have to know about Sui. And with that, we are obviously also going to talk about Ecomi and Veve as always. So make sure to stay tuned all the way through. So good morning to each and every one of you. I hope you're doing fine. It's the beginning of the week, a very short week here in Germany, at least because of public holidays or a public holiday. I think it's international, right? Day of the work or whatever, like on the 1st of May. I think it's at least in many countries. I don't know if it's in every country. But let me know in the chat if you have it also somewhere across the sea. Anyways, I want to quickly thank all of my rare hodlers here for supporting me and ask you guys to kindly smash up the like button before we go. And with that, we are already done here. I see Blaze Haze every day. I really can't deal with all the translated from English to German. Let's go is definitely not being translated like this, but I get the joke. Trucking Hank, also good morning to you. And that's it. Let's jump right in. So it's looking really good here for Bitcoin. Really good, right? I mean, we didn't have a full back test here on this level, on the small level, breaking back into the region, but maybe that still will come as we also have a CME gap open. But overall, you've seen it also in the last video, our nice big fat setup with the left shoulder, the head at the bottom here, and the right shoulder is absolutely active and very beautifully aligned here with a slightly upward sloping line. But and our retest back on this level has also occurred a couple of weeks ago already. We have reported on this channel, and now we're off to break a new all-time high, which is good, right? Let's quickly see. It seems that the situation in the world is getting a little bit smoother. I mean, we see the US talking, we saw Trump talking to Zelensky in the Vatican. Chinese factories, though, are stopping production and looking for new markets as the US tariffs bite. But we will see how long this takes until this is solved in somehow negotiation, right? So markets, I think, got used to it now, firstly, and then we will see we'll see Asia as green, right? Pre-market red, US was green before, right? Yeah, let's see how this turns out. But here is the real deal for Bitcoin.
This is kind of
Sorry, we'll pull this up here. Listen to this, because this guy is also going to buy Bitcoin today, which I will show you in a second. But let's listen quickly.
This is kind of historic entry point because all of the risk has been stripped off the asset. Like, you pretty much know Wall Street's going to embrace it, the U.S. government's going to embrace it, and banks in the U.S. going to embrace it, which means that all the other banks will embrace it. You already know all those things, and yet the market is really skittish based upon concerns about tariffs, the disposition of the U.S. economy, the interest rate forward graph. And so you see the interest rates have pulled in 30, 40, 50 basis points. And we're in this macro risk off zone. When that flips, I think Bitcoin will rip forward with a vengeance.
Now, you said Wall Street's going to embrace it, and that is true, but still, it's limited. I've been talking to these RIAs here. Many of them are very interested in Bitcoin, but a lot of them have questions when I walk around and say, what do you want to hear from Michael Saylor? They say, well, we're still concerned about suitability issues. We still have issues about recommending them to our clients. This is still a real concern. What do you say to those who are still concerned about suitability?
The only asset endorsed by a president of the United States in 50 years is Bitcoin. I mean, go back in the last 200 years in the history of the country. And I think if you go to the founding fathers, they wrote in the Constitution that money is silver and gold coin. And then at some point there was a chicken in every pot. And maybe with the founding of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, we endorsed everybody to single family home ownership. But in the 21st century, you have just one asset, Bitcoin. The president saying, don't sell your Bitcoin, saying more than that, saying the United States won't sell its Bitcoin. And so everything else you put your client into, if the US government seized any other security that you sold to a client, if they seized any collectible, any art, any real estate, they would sell it. The only thing that the US government won't sell if they are to seize it is Bitcoin.
Okay, so very interesting in my opinion, and once again a reminder, which I think is true. In the beginning, Saylor said that you basically have your entry point because Bitcoin is comparatively low at the moment, but all risk, or not all risk, but most of the risk is stripped off it. For example, all these risks that have been there in previous cycles, what if the governments and banks and so on never endorse it, never use it? Right now, I think we're way beyond that point where it's being used in payment articles or in payment functionalities. For example, we just saw that Switzerland Spar supermarket chain is offering Bitcoin payments, right? We are seeing it in as a strategy, buy and hold strategy, like with strategy here, but also with other countries like MetaPlanet and so on. There are many use cases, plus the endorsement by states or nation states, and but also states within the states, right? So we basically, yeah, it's about to rip forward. I think the fundamentals are fairly clear. And what is coming out again is this here. So Saylor is posting his tracker, his strategy tracker. Stay humble, stack sats, he says. And usually whenever he posts this, he's going to put a new dot on this chart, right? Now, the problem is, or not the problem, but we will see him buying. But what about the other countries? And we, the other countries, I just say, sorry, it's very early in the morning. What about the other companies, right? We just saw that Cantor Fitzgerald is building this 21 company, which has a new approach where they are going to offer shares, Bitcoin per share, increases and not dollar value increases on steady Bitcoin. So a new approach to which basically is another black hole for the Bitcoin in this world, where investors, they buy this company then, or this 21 company buys Bitcoin and then tries to improve Bitcoin. So maybe also some Bitcoin mining involved or so, but tries to improve the Bitcoins per share of their investors. So, and then we have all these Meta Planets and GameStop and so on that are going to use parts of their revenue to get into Bitcoin. So I think it's only a matter of time until the Bitcoin crunch really realizes. And I think that's where we come back to our topic as of every day of the global liquidity, which I made, by the way, a video about yesterday, because there are some very wrong charts out there, but we can discuss this in a second as well, right? But that's basically when this global liquidity, this increased liquidity hits the Bitcoin crunch, like the lower Bitcoin ratio there, then that's where really price explosion happens. And I don't know how long it will take, but it will come at a certain time. And maybe the US is one of this, right? So listen to this.
The idea of a Bitcoin reserve. What I'm trying to figure out right now is whether it needs to be done legislatively, or whether the Treasury Secretary has the authority to do it right now. And certainly President Trump has signed an executive order in support of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The idea of a Bitcoin reserve.
Okay, so basically, why not doing it right now? You could just buy Bitcoin, and while the process is going of establishing the purchase mechanism in the reserve, do you even have to ask the legislator to start doing that? That's basically what they're trying to figure out. So what happens if they're just doing it, right? Then it would have a more probably a bigger pull effect than strategy of Michael Saylor, even though it's probably going to be less money than that. But so we will see. Another one here, and that is let's say just an information, is that at the moment the unrealized losses of US banks are hitting 482 billion, half a trillion almost, showing a 33% increase from the previous quarter, right? So we see the last bar there, which is basically then the last, I think it's the last quarter of 2024, where we have numbers now, and excuse me, and it's severely increased from here, but it's not as high as in 22 and 23, right? So, but just for our awareness that this is also happening, probably related to the government bonds and the high interest rates. So they are basically at the moment loss making, which is not good, right? Then also gold is taking a breather, which is hinting at Bitcoin catching up now. We have looked at this several times here, but I think this is really the key to the next leg. That this gold is, once gold is going sideways, as you also see here, that Bitcoin can catch up and get to the next level here, which would be then around 130K, I would say, where Bitcoin could go next, depending on the magnitude also of the move. But I think that should not be a problem. However, according to BTC 1 exclamation mark, which is the CME futures, we could come back still and close the CME gap, right? We did not yet, so there could be a pullback before we go further, right? Closing the CME gap, I told you before, I had thought that a little bit of the CME gap not closed is not a big deal. History taught me otherwise. So maybe we are coming to 92,000. By the way, I saw Trucking Hank also said that Canadian elections are today, hoping for good results. And by the way, Green Lantern, also good morning to you. So we will see what actually will happen in Canada. Let's see what the results are, how this is good for Canada. I only saw that Canada somehow had a pretty nasty car attack as well, just like the ones that we have seen in Germany. But that just as a side note. How's the market doing today? Wow, we have some big movers on the day in the top 100. Look at that. We have Pengu leading the charge with almost 50%, 45%. And then we have Wall, Fartcoin, XMR, and IOTA on the move. But also Bonk is moving a little bit, Core. So we had seen some smaller moves here and there from coins, BitTensor 4%, Radium 5%. So some of these altcoins are on the move. And one altcoin to specifically discuss is Sui, which we are going to look at quickly to the chart, because Sui has moved quite a bit. Let's see here. There we go. This is the daily chart, so we had something drawn in from a long time ago. This is a big pump, right? I mean, this is from the absolute bottom of this move to the absolute top. That's 120% pump, more or less, right? So why did Sui pump so hard? Because there are rumors that Pokemon is actually launching on their chain, right? So this year, it's directly from the Pokemon.com, but it doesn't tell anything about Sui, just so you know what we're talking about. So this is collect medals in new Pokemon Home version 3.3.0. The latest Pokemon Home update lets players obtain digital souvenirs that can be traded or sent as gifts, right? Okay, that's fine. They can be traded or sent as gifts. The mobile device version of Pokemon Home has been updated to the version 3.3.0. You can now collect medals, digital souvenirs that can be claimed by visiting real-life places with a connection to Pokemon or by participating in Pokemon events. These medals can be traded with other players or sent to them as gifts. Players that use the Pokemon Home basic plan can possess up to 30 medals. Those who have enrolled in the premium plan can have up to 1,000 medals. Please note that this feature is only available on mobile devices version of Pokemon Home. It must be linked to a Nintendo account in order to have medals. Interesting, right? So you have to have a Nintendo account, but I think it's one of the coolest ways to leverage NFTs. Because souvenirs from something which you visited physically, this is really, I mean, a real world action leads to an NFT that gives you memories, right? For example, let's just say you could have this in sports. For example, let's say you are a huge football fan, right? And you go to a stadium and you go to a match and you have your phone, and by, I don't know, geofencing and so on, they can link you to have an active ticket with a unique code, plus that you have actually been there, and then you get an NFT dropped into your wallet that confirms that you've been there and that shows the result of the game in the end, something like that. The game is over, you get that NFT, right? Stuff like that. If apps can leverage that, I think this makes it way more engaging, as well as I think Veve also should do that. I think Veve should launch free NFT drops to everyone who goes to an event where Veve goes. For example, let's say there's a New York Comic Con and you have an active ticket and you visit the Veve booth, that you get an attendance NFT that you have been there, and it should be sellable because it should be a real, like, full complete NFT, but not many people would like to sell it if the excitement is high and so on, right? And so it's here probably. If there's a Pokemon event, you get this Pokemon medal, and it's going to be linked to your experience here. But if you sell it, you'll probably charge something higher for it, right? Or if you trade it or send it to someone as a gift or something like that, right? So I think the concept is really, really cool. Bodo says, hit the like. Sui, shame it's not Veve. We don't know that yet, so bear with me here, because it's not guaranteed, right? It's not guaranteed, because Sui is only based on a theory. Sui is not mentioned here. Some data miners have found the following. So let's look at this, right? So here we have Pokemon rumors, power up, the Sui token, and so on. So market observers trace Sui's outperformance to a cluster of social media posts that connect the dots between the Pokemon company's latest update to its Pokemon Home mobile app and recent disclosures from the Sui ecosystem. On April 23, Pokemon Home added a medal collection feature and crucially quietly amended its privacy policy to include Parasol Technologies as an approved developer permitted to receive user data. Parasol, as a blockchain gaming studio, was recently acquired by Miston Labs, the core development team behind the Sui network. So it's really a longer stretched chain. So Miston Labs bought Parasol, and Parasol is somewhere mentioned in the privacy policy. That's a stretch, right? I mean, it can be, but it's a stretch because let's see, Parasol technology, and this is how you would go over it, right? You could look at what they are doing. So unstoppable games on Sui, so that's good. If they're only Sui, revolutionary world building technologies for open, scalable, and interoperable games. So they are a technology enabler for that. So that hints in the direction there could be actually something to it, right? Build the future of participatory games, committed to catalyzing the next iteration of emergent gameplay shaped by open innovation. Our mission is to connect the world through immersive entertainment by enabling storytelling, pioneers to sculpt worlds, and so on. Okay, so we don't see too much of examples here. But what is definitely a thing, it's Sui, it's on-chain collectibles, player management, and marketplace APIs. So it's really exactly what you would expect there. So the chances are there. But here's another fact. So let's just say that's all true, and these coins come up. So it reminds me a little bit of Disney Pinnacles, right? However, this is also coming up, and it's very, very convenient, right? So, token unlocks. Sui will unlock 317 million in tokens this upcoming week. The next 6 token unlocks combined is only slightly over 150 million. So they have a gigantic token unlock, and right before that, they have this rumor. So token unlock into 3.360 token price after the price has hit 170 before, which is really nice for everyone who's unlocking there, right? Not saying that that was intentional, but if we're speculating that they have Pokemon, then also this could be a thing where, by the way, if you have that, you should consider that this unlock is coming. I mean, 300 million is also not that much compared to the market cap and everything, but I mean, substantial, right? So let's keep this all in mind. Nevertheless, I think Sui is like in general extremely well. And by the way, which is also really nice, is you have if you go to the weekly, it's visible a little bit better. You have this basically this. Let's put this in a range because it's not crystal clear, but you basically have this zone here, right? And this zone basically acts as a resistance flipped into support, right? So from where we also bounced here on Sui. So Sui is really looking nice, juicy, and so on. But do they have Pokemon? If they have the medals, that's really great, because then that means that Pokemon NFTs are somewhere, right? And this brings me back to the overall. One second, I need to pull up the comparison here. That means that there is life coming back to NFTs, if that's the case, right? So we are having NFTs at a 3 here in search terms, Ethereum only at 2, and Bitcoin at a 17. So this is one of, like, NFTs are being searched more than Ethereum in total terms, whereas altcoins in general are being probably searched more, but it's very difficult to put them together, and Ethereum being representative still for altcoins. Maybe we can put Solana instead of Ethereum. I don't know if that changes much. Let's see. No, it's the same. It's the same for Solana and Ethereum in terms. So NFTs are being looked for a little bit more. We even had a 5 here. So this Pokemon story could help revive NFTs. So let's not look at this with a negative view. I mean, even if they have these coins themselves on their own application, right? It doesn't mean that we cannot get some shape or form some Pokemon collectibles for a bull run, right? They could. Question is if they ever will, but if they secure the license, or if they already secured the license and it's just somewhere in that channel, then one thing doesn't exclude the other thing. But important is that NFTs are coming into the narrative, right? And if this here helps with that, and these NFTs are making some waves, well, that would be really good, especially in times where we expect Bitcoin to rally higher, altcoins to do well, and so on. We will see if that's the case. But that's so much for Sui. It's rumors, it's unconfirmed, and we will see how it goes. But in any case, it's not a bad thing. So don't get fudded by all these people, right? That are talking about this. And remember the unlocks. By the way, there are also other unlocks here which are not so impressive, I think. Omni Network, Athena, Optimism has some unlocks here coming. In the case of Sui, it's almost 1% of the tokens. So in the case of Omni, it's 16%, which is quite a bit. Yeah, and then we have another one for Veve also updated here. It's getting exciting again. The Veve Daily Activity Challenge goes live tonight. Ready to turn your daily actions into rewards. From April this 27th to May 28th, your activity in the app can earn you a spot in the top 250 leaderboard to May, right? April 27 to May 28. So there is a leaderboard and unlock MCP points, exclusive airdrops and more. Your everyday actions in the Veve app can earn you serious rewards. Like, comment in the feed, share your favorite posts, visit showrooms, list your collectibles, and follow and grow your community, which is really good. Let's check out the article. And I think this could be actually a good time to go for it, because there are many people are AFK, so to say. So it could be actually easier now than maybe in a couple of months or so to get into these challenges, get some airdrops. So let's see here. What's the activity challenge? unlock exclusive rewards. Here's what you get. So top 250 real rewards. Land a spot on the leaderboard and earn exclusive MCP points and limited edition collectible airdrops, right? Bigger community, bigger prizes. As community milestones are reached, the prize pool gets even sweeter. Wow, okay. Daily max, daily motivation. Earn up to 30 points a day. The more consistently you engage, the higher you climb. And limited time opportunity. This is a pilot challenge. So participation now means being part of something special and possibly long term. How to use the challenge to your advantage. Be consistent, diversify your actions, don't just like, post, comment, share, visit showrooms and items. Mixing up your engagement helps you hit your daily point cap faster. Track your rank, keep an eye on your leaderboard where you stand. If you're close to the top 250, a little extra effort each day could push you over the line. So this is really good because they are going to push the in-app feed. Trucking Hank says land sales back. I don't know, are they? Ready to take action challenge. The Veve daily activity challenge launches here and there today. I think it's on already. So I will definitely participate in that one because that's easy, and also I want to see what's going on with the feed there. But that's it basically. So yeah. That is that. Where's my Veve channel? So quite a bit of things, right? Omi now available for purchase on Stacker. Everything purchasable on Stacker, and the challenge. What's your favorite Star Wars character? Well, I think it's Darth Vader. Let's go. There we go. Let's push this a little bit. Let's see what else they have. Let's go here. There we go. Oh yeah, snap. Today marks the 7th anniversary of Avengers Infinity War. And they are having a giveaway. Share your best Avengers Infinity War collectible. Blah blah. Okay, so you can participate to win something. I have this dude already, and the fist also. They did another Women X Veve, I see. So I don't know. Did anyone listen to this? Is this any good? Like in terms of what came out of this. So there's a lot of things going on. Like, I mean, Veve constantly posts. That's really good. How's the development of the Veve following? 215K. I think it's pretty steady around this, right? What's good is that all these posts get like 3, 4, 5,000 visualizations. Some of them more. This one has 8,000. The store is open. California Comics. Now it's store. Okay. Yeah, I saw someone, this was interesting. I saw someone, of course, on a fund mission, but it's still interesting. Let's see here quickly if I can find it. Someone actually visited the David Yu store here. There you go, Meta Mogul. That was it. And I want to give this coverage because I think it's also fine, right? So he says, stopped in David's empty vagabond store on a Saturday afternoon in downtown Auckland. To no surprise, there's not a single mention of Veve in the entire store. He doesn't even try to attract customers to the app from his own physical store that is selling the same stuff and brands. So I think that's a fair criticism to say, hey, by the way, besides your physical collectible stuff here in the Vagabond store, you could also join the Veve app, right? Yeah, probably something to work on, to have a big fat Veve logo somewhere or so, and just to maybe even some phygital things in the store where you launch something with a nice artist and then you get some physicals in that store where you can, I don't know, like these, what was it, the Funko Pops or so, where you can then create a Veve account and redeem your Funko Pop thingy and so on, right? I think that should be something to consider here. But it's a good, I mean, it's a good effort from Metamogul to check things like that out. Even though we don't like negative publicity and so on, I think it's something good, and we should highlight everything, right? The good and the bad. Well, there we go. So what else is new on Veve? Or about Veve also, right? Let's see, because this one got quite some visibility. Another one is this guy here just paid $2,150 for a Spider-Man secret rare. Wow, that is happening. Veveverse live with Dan Crothers. At least the AI stuff, I don't know if it's AI, but the AI stuff is really good for people to create something. By the way, Trucking Inc., what do you mean by land sales back? And maybe keep it up Veve values here, because the more we post about this, the more likely it's going to happen, right? This is what we want. This is what everyone wants, right? Yeah. We will see. Also, here the Veve challenges has launched. Here, this is how it looks. It's also good to have the in-app notification, in-app banner. This is something to check out. Let's start to earn some points, but then also we need to have more value to the MCP points, right? How do we make MCP points extremely valuable, which then makes people to participate hardcore in that, so that MCPs are more valuable than the rest of the points, right? So that is something that I would also want to see. Yeah, that is actually more valuable than gems, right, to have MCP. Really, that you have to figure out your meta to get that thing. Yeah. So a lot of some posts here and there. That looks pretty good. That Mickey is not joking around. It looks pretty good. I like that. Anyways, guys, for today, that shall be it. Make sure to smash up the like button here. Subscribe to the channel, notifications on if you haven't yet, to never miss out on news about altcoins, crypto, Bitcoin, the macro view, as well as deep down in the NFT abyss. I think we are going to come back full force here with everything. Okay, so it was the David and Dr. Profit foster space about Omi. So if you could link the space in our Rare Hodler group, which, by the way, if you subscribe to the Rare Hodler tier and then get in touch with me on X, then I will invite you to the secret Telegram group here, where about, I think, 27 Rare Hodlers or so are in. So thank you once again, each and every one of you who is supporting there. I think, as I said before, we will have a great time. It's starting all with macro and Bitcoin, and it's ending all with NFTs and the beauty of the space and so many innovative technologies. And guys, wherever you are on the world, have a subscribe.